joining us. On this special edition of the programme, we'll be discussing big data, giving an explanation to the key concepts of how big data is affecting business and the technologies used. We will also be having an exclusive interview with a university lecturer. Today I'm joined by a panel of experts.
Every object on Earth will be generating data, including our homes, our cars, and yes, even our bodies. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the amount of data we're exposed to. Our 15th century counterparts experienced less data in their entire lifetime than we do in a single day. Our smart devices are turning each of us into human sensors. We now leave a trail of digital exhaust, a perpetual stream of texts, location data, and other information that will live on forever. But who owns the data we generate? Who profits from it? And why are governments and corporations the only ones thinking about the impact of big data?
So what exactly is big data? Big data is comprised of 4 areas involving the volume of data to be processed, the variety of data to be processed, the velocity or speed of data, and the variety of data to be processed.
Big data technology deals with an extremely huge volumes of data that traditional relational databases cannot handle, since they are not scalable enough to deal with data of this magnitude. Before the rise of what we now know as big data today, organizations and businesses basically had to deal with data sets that mainly comprises of structured documents, financial transactions, stock records, and personnel files. All of these were possible with traditional relational database management systems. But the explosion of technologies, especially mobile technology and web, has placed a pressing demand for businesses and organizations to begin to deal with such data as photographs, audio data, video data, 3D simulations, 3D models, location data, to mention but a few. Big data technology is enabled by a number of factors such as hardware technology innovations like massive parallel processing, enabled by multi-core processor architecture, which allow for huge data blocks to be processed by more than one CPU or servers simultaneously. At the center of big data is 2 key technologies driving big data today, and this is Hadoop and MapReduce. Hadoop is an open source software framework for distributed storage and distributed processing of very large data sets on computer clusters built from commodity hardware. At its core is a storage part known as the HDFS, or what we call the Hadoop file system, and a processing system called MapReduce, which is based on a programming model and an associated implementation for processing and generating large data sets with parallel distributed algorithm on a cluster.
Big data processing typically follow 4 main steps or stakes: data collection, data store, data analyze, and data consume. Analytic on big data map is broken down into 4 main categories. Include the analytic platform, which is integrate and analyze big data to uncover new insight and help business and organization make better informed decision. The visualization platform, which is designed for visualized data. This involve to taking raw data as they are generated and presenting it in complex multi-dimension visual format to eliminate that information. The business intelligence platform focus in integration and analyzing data specifically for business. This basically formats data in analyzed data a way that business can make use of them. The formatted data is then delivered an intelligence report, dashboard, other forms of visualization. And finally, the machine learning platform, which is its own unique analytical platform, but different in the sense that instead of taking in big data and analyze in producing insight, and visualization. The platform employ complex mathematical algorithm on big data.
Big data is rapidly changing the way businesses interact with consumers. Every day, new data streams become available with the potential to increase revenue by revealing unseen sources of value. Those who adapt to this new data-driven approach will likely be more competitive in the future.
Business case that has been brought for this discussion in big data technology is Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services introduced what we call as the cloud-based big data. Amazon Web Services, or AWS, launched in 2006 as a subsidiary of Amazon.com, focused on on-demand computing platform. They have more than 70 services in 60 product categories. They launched cloud-based market and leading the market by 78% revenue growth in Q3 2015. They have more than 1 million customers now. They separated the operation in 12 geographical regions, and they have 1.4 million servers. AWS offers multiple package services. There are 3 main services. The first one is Infrastructure as a Services, or IaaS, Platform as a Services, or PaaS, and Software as a Services, or SaaS. Cloud-based big data sit on Software as a Service. AWS has no more than 70 services that span a wide range, including computing, storage, networking, database, analytics, application services, deployment, and the most important thing is big data. Research has been conducted by 451 Research. They conducted 6 in-depth interviews with big data users whose primary deployment is cloud-based. These users were sourced from customer lists provided by AWS. And here's some of their findings. The second research has been conducted by IDC, where they interviewed 10 organizations from a cross-section of industries using AWS to measure how AWS impacts their business operations and IT environments. There have been 4 main business benefits as a result of using AWS solutions for big data. The first one is the business productivity. The second one is risk mitigations. The third one, IT infra cost reduction. And the fourth one is IT staff productivity.
Along with me in the studio to give the expert opinion on the topic, we have Dr. Mark Hooper, Senior Lecturer of Coventry University. Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us in this discussion from your busy schedule. Today, most of the companies talking and migrating towards the big data. What do you think the future of big data going?
I think initially over the next couple of years, it's going to be one of more application, without necessarily thinking about the effects and the implications and whether it's actually giving good value to companies. And then beyond that, it will probably settle down to be a much more focused, much more targeted use of big data.
Every technology has some pros and cons. What do you think will be the drawback of big data? Will it affect the organization or individual in future?
I think there are issues of individual privacy, which will be one of the concerns associated with big data. I think it's also oversold in terms of what it can actually deliver. And if you look at the example of the Human Genome Project, an example of very big data, it promised a lot, but it didn't deliver nearly as much as the promises. So I think we're very bad at predicting, say, 5 years worth of future in any particular technology. So we're very bad in the first 5 years, but we tend to undersell and underplay the technology within 20 to 30 years.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks for joining us this morning. We hope we have given a useful insight into big data and how it's used by companies and individuals. The future of big data is one of growth that will ultimately continue to be an expanding area involving improvements in security. We hope to see you again shortly. Thank you for watching.